new releases as everyone scrambles to get their games out before fake E3 next week, with an awesome top 5 if I do say so myself, with plenty of other fantastic games to check out in this edition of Indie Gaming this week. Let's begin with 10 Rooms 10 Seconds, a precision platformer with brutal difficulty that does remind me of games like N++. The time limit in each room does provide an impetus to get moving, where interestingly, there are game-changing upgrades that can be purchased through coins collected, looking like quite the challenge.
In the remote region of Thunder Valley lies a cybernetic-enhanced male known as the Leap Mercenary. Typically a violent and unruly species, lacking any sense of self-awareness. They are usually seen causing destruction everywhere they go. They seem to have an unquenchable hunger for obtaining money. Not to mention, they're the only known species that kills for entertainment. We catch a rare glimpse of this mercenary in a solitary state. Perhaps just this once, this mercenary appears to have connected with nature. Or not.
I'm not quite sure what to make of Leap, since this is a multiplayer first-person shooter that supports up to 60 players per game, coming to us from a relatively small developer who made games like Slender the Arrival, Valley, and Citadel Forged with Fire, so a multiplayer FPS is quite a departure. It does look pretty good with interesting movement options, whereas with all indie multiplayer titles, I am concerned about the player population, but kudos to them for giving this a try. I talked about Ashina the Red Witch in my video covering the best upcoming games of the month, where this is a pixel art adventure game from developer Strenga, who has been exclusively making games like this, looking to be their most refined and polished release up to date. You play as the titular character, exploring the spirit world, trying to save her sister and to get back home, where the variety of NPCs and the world built looks interesting. It is an adventure game with items to find, characters to help and so on, but lacks direct combat or action elements, but it still looks like a fantastic title.
After the global crisis, I found shelter for my crew on this island. I had to set up basic infrastructure. Things like smelting iron and mining resources. But that required vehicles, and vehicles needed fuel.
I love city and factory building titles, where Captain of Industry looks like an excellent one of these releasing in early access with a great narrated trailer, so enjoy.
To man all the machines, I needed more workers on the island. So we repaired our ship and set sail to find more people. But then, those pirates. After a few upgrades, we gave them a taste of 10,000 tons of diplomacy. The expeditions became crucial to meeting our growing demands for new resources. We utilized previously inaccessible parts of the island to get more space for our ever-growing factories and mines. And even bigger mines. Well, we just couldn't stop mining. We had to reclaim the land we mined and build even more. At the end, we became a major industrial power in the region, ensuring its safety and maintaining our growth and innovation, so we can one day restore access to the technologies we used to have, and maybe even more. So what about you, Captain? Are you up for the challenge?
If you had the chance to request somebody's death, would you take it?
I'm not usually a visual novel person, but Corpse Factory looks to be of interest, having a concept like Death Note but more chaotic, so if you're into thrillers, check this out.
Somebody you want removed from the surface of the planet. The interesting part? Victims of this website apparently receive a photograph of their own corpse, mere hours before their demise. How is such a thing even possible? My name is Noriko, but online, people only know me as Corpse Girl. Perhaps I'm the mastermind behind this cursed website. Or maybe I'm just an innocent girl. Tokyo has been covered in a blanket of darkness as countless deaths shake the city. And I intend to lure even more unfortunate souls into the depths of hell.
I know you better than anyone. I know everything about you.
You're so self-important. Both you and Corpse Girl.
So, we gotta protect you from Corpse Girl, right?
I don't know where you get your courage. Perhaps I could stand to learn a thing or two from you.
I'll find her! I'll find her! I'll kill her! I'll kill her! Will you join me in cleansing the city of filth? I hope so.
I know, this is an indie game channel, but I do have to give a very special mention to Diablo Do You Not Have Phones Immortal, the latest entry in the storied action RPG series, since I'm a glutton for punishment and cannot wait to see one of my favourite series ruined by microtransactions.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones.
Jokes aside, it does at least have a PC release, so I might check it out since I love all things Diablo, but given Blizzard's recent track record, I don't have high hopes, so let's see how this pans out. Smaller games begin with Bass Monkey, a free musically themed action platformer that looks pretty weird, but for free, no harm giving this a try. We do also have the PS4 and Switch ports of Behind the Frame, The Finest Scenery, a gorgeously animated adventure game from last year, so if you did not get it on PC, perhaps give it a go this week. I just mentioned Bell Boomerang as well, where this looks like a neat little action platformer worth a play. Fishing Paradiso is the PC port of an oddly dark title from mobile, where the entire game takes place in the afterlife, but it looks warm and charming nonetheless. God's Bane Idol is another idle game of interest, this time having a Path of Exile-like skill tree which looks pretty intense, being of interest to fans of the genre. My Master's a Moron is a classic turn-based roguelike that looks interesting, where you play as a djinn trying to kill your master to get your freedom back, looking pretty neat. Nemesis Lockdown is a digital version of a fairly popular board game that has you surviving in a grimdark sci-fi world where there is asymmetry with a traitor mechanic, so I'm curious as to how well this translates to PC.
Intruder movement detected. Eat this. Power failure in section 3. Intruder movement detected.
Pinku Cult Hex Mortis is a turn-based JRPG where you're hunting down the mastermind behind a recent demonic invasion of your city, having quite an interesting look. Police Shootout looks like another simulation title that tends to get oddly popular, but get this, it self-describes as a turn-based first-person shooter, so that alone has got me very curious. Surface Rush looks like a neat little arcade action title where you're moving your little character through the ocean in a test of your reaction speed with a pleasant look as well.
Finally, destination.
We'll close off this section with some demos, the first of which is Truck Mechanic Dangerous Paths Prologue, one where you have to send cargo from one place to the next, traversing through dangerous mountain paths and perhaps even having to stop and do repairs in the middle of the road, looking like one for grease monkeys out there.
Shouldn't be too hard. Good thing I have a winch, otherwise I'd have to turn back. Can't see a thing. Hope I'm not short on fluid. This road looks like it's not quite finished. Load it up. Malfunctions. What have we here? Obstacles on the road.
Attention, Speak She, Head of Arbitrage Anonymous Agency. If you hear this message, you need to know. AAA is gone. 98% of the agents involved in the mission have also been killed. You will have to take over the management of the secret branch of AAA. And we need your help, human.
Twilight Wars Declassified is a demo to an upcoming roguelite RPG whose closest comparison appears to be Darkest Dungeon but with a sci-fi theme, making it something to check out.
On AAA. Use the skills in the agent's arsenal and keep an eye on the battery level. Spare batteries, med kits, and stimulants are at your disposal. The price of a mistake is permanent death. This fight is won, but the battle is not yet. And whoever gets in your way will be there with you, human.
Let's kick off the top 5 with Silt, a monochrome underwater exploration title that looks fairly creepy, where gigantic monsters lurk in the dark. You play as a diver exploring the underwater abyss, but do also have the ability to possess other sea creatures, which are then used in the puzzle solving. People will certainly compare this to Limbo, and I do see the parallels, but perhaps the underwater setting will make it different enough. If you enjoy turn-based RPGs with a thin layer of management sim spread over it, I do think that Tiny Folks will be of interest, one where you're upgrading a town and recruiting townsfolk to take on monsters, looking to have quite a compelling gameplay loop. If you love pixel art, tower defense or Zelda-style action-adventure titles, Dwarf will be the perfect game for you, so enjoy this trailer.
Grandpa, what were the warsmiths like?
They were artisans of war that engineered magnificent turrets and traps.
So, they were blacksmiths?
More than that, my boy. They were protectors of the old kingdom, fabled throughout the realm. Their turrets fought for them. They'd launch arrows, stones, and exploding bombs. They'd shock them with stormfire, burn them with hellfire, and hack them to pieces.
Where did all the warsmiths go?
They perished long ago in the Great War that drove us dwarfs from our mountain cities.
Grandpa, do you think I'll ever be a warsmith?
Hopefully you'll never need to be one. Now, go to sleep, my boy.
Under the mountain, even the bunnies bite.
One of the most fascinating entries to come along in recent memory is Card Shark, an adventure game set in 18th century France, where you're trying to cheat and hustle your way into high society. This is done through the playing of cards, but where it gets most interesting is how the developer built in the ability to cheat at cards into this game. Add to that a gorgeous hand-drawn art style and the pedigree of this developer who made the decision-making hit Reigns, which spawned a whole new genre of games, and you got my attention. Of course, Soldiers needs no further introduction, since this is a gorgeous pixel art title that I've been banging on and on about, and after a short delay from May to June, should be coming out this week. It has previewed incredibly well based on early builds and demos during the Steam Next Festival, making it a must-get, taking the #1 spot. For more Metroidvania games, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.
Soldiers.